Hey everybody, buckle up because I just watched First Take go completely off the rails in the most epic way possible, and this one involves the Golden State Warriors and a potential blockbuster signing. The panel is deep into free agency talk for 2026, and Stephen A. Smith boldly states that Chris Middleton is heading to the Warriors once the market opens. Shannon Sharpe, never one to back down, immediately challenges him on air. Stephen A. Oi, you're out here fabricating these stories again. Middleton to Golden State? Come on, man, that's pure speculation. Stephen A. looks visibly annoyed, locks eyes with Shannon, and fires back. You want proof? I'll give you proof right now. He grabs his phone, switches to speakerphone live on national television, and calls his league insider. The source answers casually, having no idea he's now on speaker for millions. Stephen A. jumps right in with the questions. Give us the real details on Chris Middleton and the Warriors. What's the latest? Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. The source starts talking freely. The Warriors just added Kristaps Porzingis to help with the Jimmy Butler injury situation, but they still desperately need bench depth and two-way players who can hold up in 7-game series against Western Conference contenders. Middleton is the perfect champion with two-way impact and the ability to create his own shots. He would relieve pressure on Steph Curry and Porzingis, benefit from Curry's gravity for open looks and creation opportunities, and serve as the ideal bench scorer and depth upgrade. He was in the top 4 landing spots during the February buyout rumors, right alongside the Lakers and Nuggets, even though apron rules blocked an immediate signing because Golden State was over the first apron. The source continues, dropping more. Middleton refused the buyout to preserve bird rights, played solid ball with Dallas after the trade from Washington, and is entering unrestricted free agency stronger than ever. At 34, turning 35 in August, he's still delivering shooting, perimeter defense, secondary creation, and veteran leadership. His style fits perfectly with Curry's offensive gravity. He gets space to shoot and create. The Warriors value experience and shooting, and this gives him a real shot at another ring before he's done. Then the source hears the studio sounds, realizes it's live, goes dead silent, and hangs up. The studio erupts in absolute pandemonium. Molly immediately says that absolutely should not have happened on live TV. Shannon is sitting there stunned, mouth open. Stephen A. leans back with that signature satisfied grin and says, "That's what I thought." The internet lost its mind, and now I'm here to dissect every single detail the source revealed because it all lines up with the actual facts. Let's break down everything the source confirmed using the real data we have right now in mid-April 2026. First, the Warriors' need for bench depth and two-way players is well documented. After acquiring Porzingis to compensate for Butler's injury, the roster still lacks reliable wings who can play both ends in long playoff series. Middleton fits that description perfectly, a 2021 champion who brings exactly the impact two-way and capacidad de criar arremesos the source mentioned. Now, to really understand why this point hits so hard, think about how the Warriors have been navigating the season. They brought in Porzingis specifically to add size and spacing around Curry, but the injury to Butler created a ripple effect that left gaps in the rotation that simply haven't been filled by the current supporting cast. You look at the minutes logged by some of the younger wings and bench pieces, and it's clear they're being asked to do too much in high-leverage situations. Middleton, with his proven track record, steps in as that stabilizing force who can log 20 to 25 meaningful minutes per night without a drop-off. He's not just a body on the floor, he's a player who elevates the group because he's been through the wars, knows exactly when to pick his spots, and delivers on both ends without needing the ball in his hands constantly. This is the kind of addition that turns a good playoff team into a legitimate threat in a 7-game series, where fatigue and depth become the difference between advancing and going home early. The source nailed it when he described Middleton as the perfect champion with two-way impact, because that's precisely what Golden State has been missing in those crunch time moments against the top Western Conference teams. Second, the source highlighted how Middleton's game benefits from Curry's gravity. That's 100% accurate. Curry's presence creates massive spacing, and Middleton's 38.5% career three-point shooting would thrive in that environment. He can spot up, attack closeouts, or create for others. All things the Warriors need to take pressure off Steph in crunch time. Let me expand on this because it's one of the most beautiful basketball synergies you could imagine in today's NBA. When Steph Curry is on the floor, defenses have no choice but to collapse or rotate extra help toward him, which leaves wide open opportunities on the perimeter for shooters like Middleton. We're talking about a career 38. 5% three-point shooter who has maintained that efficiency even as he's aged into his mid-30s, which is rare in this league. Imagine the pick-and-roll actions where Curry draws two defenders, kicks it out to Middleton on the wing, and suddenly you've got a wide-open look or a driving lane that wasn't there before. Or think about those late shot clock situations where the defense is scrambling. Middleton can create his own shot off one or two dribbles, something the Warriors' current bench has struggled with at times. This isn't just theoretical, it's the exact kind of off-ball movement and secondary creation that the source was describing, and it directly alleviates the pressure on Curry, who at this stage of his career still carries an enormous load, but benefits immensely from having reliable teammates who can punish defenses for overhelping. The gravity Curry provides isn't just about his own scoring, it's about unlocking everyone else around him, and Middleton is wired to take full advantage of that. In a Western Conference where every possession in the playoffs feels like it matters more than ever, this fit could be the difference maker that pushes the Warriors deeper than anyone expects. Third, the February buyout context the source referenced is spot on. Middleton was listed in the top 4 landing spots during those talks, even with the apron restrictions that prevented an immediate deal. The Warriors were over the first apron, so they couldn't sign him then, but free agency in July opens new possibilities via sign and trade or cap maneuvering. To really unpack this, remember the timeline from earlier in the season. When the buyout rumors were swirling in February, analysts across the league were circling teams like the Warriors as ideal destinations, precisely because of the roster needs I just mentioned. The apron rules are no joke in today's CBA, and Golden State being over the first apron at that time meant they were limited in what they could do immediately. But the source was crystal clear that those restrictions were temporary in the grand scheme, and once free agency hits in July, the flexibility for sign and trade deals or creative cap work becomes very real. Middleton himself played it smart by turning down the buyout, preserving his bird rights, and finishing the year strong with Dallas after the trade from Washington. That decision wasn't just about money, it was about positioning himself perfectly for the summer market, and the Warriors are now in a spot where they can capitalize on that. This context from February isn't ancient history. It's the foundation for why this rumor feels so credible right now in mid-April. The league insiders knew then what the source confirmed on that chaotic phone call, and it all ties together seamlessly. Let's go deeper into the numbers. Middleton's defensive metrics remain solid for a player his age, and his ability to guard perimeter players would help the Warriors in the tough Western Conference. Offensively, his secondary creation would be huge. The source said he would alleviar pression and Steph Curry et Porzingis. Exactly. Curry is still elite, but at this stage he needs reliable help, and Middleton provides that without demanding the ball. Diving even further into the statistical side of things, Middleton's defensive rating and on-off numbers this season have shown he remains a plus defender on the wing, capable of switching onto guards and forwards without getting burned. In a conference full of explosive perimeter talent, that kind of reliability is gold. Offensively, we're talking about a player who can facilitate at a high level when the primary options are covered. Secondary creation that doesn't require him to be the focal point. The source's phrasing about relieving pressure on Curry and Porzingis is perfect because it captures exactly how the Warriors' offense can evolve. Steph is still dropping 30 plus on any given night when he's locked in, but having a veteran like Middleton who can handle the ball in spot minutes or create in the half-court sets takes some of that burden off. Porzingis, coming off the injury situation with Butler, benefits from having another reliable scorer and passer who can stretch the floor. The numbers don't lie. Middleton's assist rates and usage have stayed efficient even as his role has shifted in recent years, proving he's the low-maintenance, high-impact veteran every contender dreams of adding. The source also confirmed Middleton's motivation, stability, a defined veteran role, and another chance at a ring. The Warriors offer all of that. Reconnecting with a championship environment, playing alongside one of the greatest in Curry, and contributing to a contender in a system that values shooting and experience is a perfect fit for a 34-year-old veteran. Let me really emphasize how this motivation piece resonates so deeply with who Middleton is as a player and person. After winning it all in 2021 with the Bucks, he's at a stage where he doesn't need to chase the biggest contract or the brightest spotlight. He wants to be in a place where his role is clear, his minutes are meaningful, and the team has a legitimate shot at hoisting another trophy. Golden State checks every single box. The championship culture that Steve Kerr has built over the years, the way the organization treats veterans, and the simple fact of lining up next to Steph Curry in a system designed for movement and shooting. It's tailor-made for a player like Middleton who still has that competitive fire. At 34, turning 35 in August, he's not looking to be the face of the franchise. He wants to be the glue that holds everything together, and the Warriors' recent roster moves show they're building exactly that kind of veteran-supported core. This isn't just a business decision for him, it's a basketball decision that aligns with his desire for stability and one more legitimate title chase before the window closes. Expanding further, the Warriors' roster construction this season showed clear holes in wing depth and bench scoring. Middleton addresses both. His playoff experience would be invaluable in a potential first-round matchup or beyond. The sources point about him being a bench scorer perfido, a upgrade in profundidade, is backed by his production after the trade to Dallas. He played well down the stretch, showing he still has plenty left in the tank. To paint an even clearer picture, consider how the Warriors bench has performed in key stretches this year. There have been nights where the second unit has struggled to generate consistent offense or maintain defensive intensity, leading to those momentum swings that can decide games. Middleton coming off the bench or sliding into the starting lineup as needed would immediately shore up those weaknesses. His scoring burst off the bench, something he showed consistently after joining Dallas, would give the Warriors a weapon they've been missing. And when we talk playoff experience, we're not just throwing around buzzwords. This is a guy who has been through multiple deep runs, knows how to manage the physical and mental toll of a 7-game series, and can mentor the younger pieces on the roster at the same time. The production he put up down the stretch with the Mavericks wasn't fluky. It was the kind of steady, professional output that screams still got it, and that's exactly why the source highlighted him as the depth upgrade the Warriors need. Statistically, his career 38.5% from 3 on solid volume would pair beautifully with Curry's shooting. Defensively, he adds perimeter toughness that the Warriors have missed at times. The entire league knows the Warriors value veterans who buy into the system, and Middleton's leadership and championship pedigree make him an ideal culture fit. Breaking this down even more granularly, that 38.5% career mark from beyond the arc isn't just good for a forward, it's elite, especially when you factor in the volume and the fact that he's maintained it into his mid-30s while playing both ends. Pair that with Curry's legendary shooting gravity, and you're looking at an offense that could become even more unguardable than it already is on its best nights. Defensively, the perimeter toughness Middleton brings fills a gap that has shown up in certain matchups this season, where opposing wings have been able to exploit mismatches. He's not a lockdown defender in his prime anymore, but he's smart, physical, and experienced enough to make life difficult for scorers without fouling. And when it comes to culture, the Warriors have always thrived on veterans who understand the system, buy in fully, and lead by example. Middleton's championship pedigree from 2021 means he already speaks that language fluently. He's the kind of player who walks into the locker room and instantly commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he's earned it through years of winning basketball.